Welcome to the Golden Square Podcast with your hosts, Linda Scott and Sharilyn Fisher. Are you ready? Because we're starting now.
Hey,
hello.
how are you? You look refreshed.
I feel refreshed and good.
Girl, I slept.
LA don't owe me
Nothing.
nothing. I had such a good time. So I've been resting for the last 2 days.
What? I don't even know what yesterday looked like. God knows. Thank you for letting me
Wake up when I woke
and
up.
went back to bed. Yeah. So it was good, y'all. We had a fantastic time in LA. It was.
And if you get a moment, go on to flawlesslysisters.com.
Silver.
Flawlesslysilver.com and look at the pictures and see what time we had in LA. And if you have one strand of gray hair, join us.
Okay, with that being said, with that being said, how about if you go on our Golden Square podcast, go to our page, like, share, and then go to our YouTube and subscribe. Now let's get this show started.
So before we get this show started, I got one thing. Because I heard you say this, you told me this when we were in LA, but I was having such a good time that it kind of went in one ear and came out the other. I know Texas and Florida are having a hard time with the election, but you told me another state. Which one was it?
Georgia.
Oh, wow. So you live in Texas, you live in Florida, and you live in Georgia. Please go and make sure you are still registered to vote because they're having some irregularities in those cities. I don't want you to go to the poll to find out that you can't vote. So please check it early.
Sharilyn, would you unmute? Anyway, so Madam Producer, would you please bring our guest on for this evening? Hey, handsome, how are you?
How are you?
How y'all ladies doing? Thank you.
It's been a crazy day, but a good day. So God woke us up and we here and we wait. Hey, we was waiting on you and let's do it. So tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm an actor and comedian, Ty Barnett, by the way. Hey, how everybody doing? I started as a stand-up, but I've been acting now probably for 20 years. You can see the gray, it's in there. But so I live in Los Angeles, and honestly, I was never really into politics when I started because I was just like, it is what it is. You feel like everybody's the same white dude. But then I think the older I got and the more I started paying attention to things, then I became a little bit more political. So we kind of, I still tell jokes, I still act. There's projects out there. There's still stand-up specials and stuff. But my focus, at least until November, is making sure that orange dude does not get back in the White House.
I am so happy that I have somebody by my side.
Someone who can give the male perspective.
Yes.
Because let me give her perspective to anybody who will listen.
You
So
better.
We can get a male perspective of how men think, and I'm so sick of hearing men say they're not voting for her because she put black men in jail. She put some white men in jail too, fella, just in case you didn't know. So what do you think about that?
Well, it's funny because I literally just I posted some content about that narrative of people saying that she's a prosecutor.
Mm-hmm.
And what's really crazy, and we all seem to be old enough to remember when crack was an epidemic and it was tearing up neighborhoods. And
right.
I remember growing up in Chicago, my family personally was affected by drugs. So I know what it was like when lawlessness was happening. And every time we were like, why won't the cops do something? Why won't they clean up these streets? So I said all that to say this: when you have someone like Kamala Harris that has a history as a prosecutor, you don't want the person to put people in jail that commit crimes?
Right.
That's wild to me. But let's talk about that false narrative of she's locked up thousands of black men. DL actually apologized for this on his show.
He did.
Did you see that where he was?
Yes.
He was one of the people that was spreading that narrative. So to clarify for people, she oversaw between 1,500 and 1,900 cases, somewhere around there.
Right.
Those people, 45 were locked up. And of those 45, we literally don't know how many were black. We don't. So no one knows how many black people she put in jail. But I can tell you for sure, it wasn't the thousands that they keep saying. Now, if I can speak absolutely freely,
because I need it.
Okay. I understand why racists spread the lie because it makes them sound not racist if they say, well, I just don't like because she's a prosecutor. But I don't understand why Black people are not looking at this and saying, well, wait a minute, that's a lie. That's not true. She did not do this. Because what people don't understand with this election right now is that this will be it.
Yep.
If he gets back in, that's a wrap.
Done. And that part they don't understand. So you say that again because they need to hear that.
They not getting it when I've never seen. I can tell you right now, if he gets in now, it's worse than 2016 because 2016. Because I know Black people, I know Black comedians that voted for him because they thought they fell for the businessman thing. They fell for that narrative. So, but we talk about 9 years later. We're talking about after the insurrection. We're talking about after all the racist attacks. We're talking about he is literally supported by every single hate group in America. All of the KKK, Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, 3%ers, all of them only support him. And last time I checked, all of those hate groups hate us. So any Black person sitting here thinking that you're going to get a stimulus check, which again, that stimulus check came from Nancy Pelosi and Democrats.
Okay, wait, say that again.
Say that one again.
They not. You know what's crazy is that they can go look at this. You can look and see that he didn't want to give the checks. The only reason he okayed those checks was that his name got put on them, and so he had people thinking that he came out of his own pocket with these checks. So real quick to the Kamala Harris thing. When I hear people say that, when I hear Black people say it, and they say, well, I can't vote for her. Why can't you vote for that Black woman and you know it's a lie that these white people are telling? You know these white people are telling a lie about this Black woman. And if you're going to sit here and allow these people to disparage her, what's to stop them from disparaging your mom, your sister, your daughters?
All right.
Your aunties. Your grandmas, what's to stop them from saying, well, I don't know how your grandma and your mom got that job. Maybe she got it from sleeping her way to the top.
Like they said, she slept to the top. How could we allow people to speak about our people and women in that way? Because if I slept my way to the top, I did it for you. And I'm the woman of the house who are providing for you because I don't know where your dad at. So I'm just saying, I don't know where your daddy, and I'm taking care of what I need to take care of to make sure you have what you have. Right. And grandma, auntie, your sister, everybody has tried to help you become the man in the presence of an absent father. Right. So first of all, you can't talk about a Black man in my face. I can talk about him, but you can't talk about it. I'm just keeping it real. I can talk about him, but you cannot say, oh, he slept his way to the top and now he the president. However, how ignorant does that sound for a woman going to the White House, and people are electing her? How ignorant do we sound?
Well, what has happened with this dude? What he's been able to do, and it's not just he's no criminal mastermind. He's just had help from a lot of entities that have made him, giving him a louder bullhorn. Mm-hmm. But what he's been able to do is he's been able to convince people that when he says something, he says it so many times that people are like, okay, he said it. He said it. He said, and then what do they say? A lie travels around the world twice as fast as the truth.
As the truth, yeah.
So again, I understand why certain white people fall for it. I totally understand because he looks like you. He looks like you. So you're thinking, okay, at least I can say his policy. I can't say, but when Black people, because like you got phones, we got tablets, you literally can look all of this up and see Kamala Harris lock up thousands of Black people. And it will tell you right there. Did Kamala Harris sleep her way to the top? And you can see it right there. When I see black men willfully ignorant, when I see them purposely not looking this up, when I see them saying things like, well, you know, she a woman, it's going to be a problem. We've had men in office, and look at the problems that we've had.
How many men have we had in the White House? As president? Okay, is that meaning that we ain't counting?
46.
Right. So why can't we have a woman to be in charge? How many times that we are not? Okay, let me say this. Let me ask this question. For those excluding 45, excluding that person, how many women that our presidents had, wives, who actually was pushing the president?
Exactly.
Now, if so, they always say Michelle. When Michelle run, Michelle says she ain't no politician. She been told all y'all. Okay, so, but that's what they fail to realize, that behind every woman, every man, there is a woman, and there is a woman that sits up at night saying, "Honey, I think you should push this. Yes. I think you should do this." Yeah. So now she's the woman. She's taking over the house.
I heard a theory a while back, and this came from, like, most secure men don't have a problem with Kamala. Secure men who are secure in themselves, they're secure professionally and personally, they don't have a problem with it, because they're like, okay, I love an independent woman. I love a woman that actually works her way up. I always tell my wife this. One of the most endearing qualities about my wife is that she doesn't have to depend on me to make a living.
Okay.
We just live, we work ourselves together.
Right.
But she was already independent before me.
Right.
So she has her own income. She does her own thing. We just have a household that we take care of together. And she's also smart. So to me, if I was the type of person to say, nope, your opinion doesn't matter, I don't need anything from you, that would be me being insecure.
Right.
And when I see men that are shaming Kamala, and especially based off lies, I'm like, there's something missing with them. But what they're not getting is they're not understanding that if you are sitting here disparaging this accomplished woman, you know what they are saying about you and your family, your relatives, all of the females in your life. You can't get mad at that person across the street that says that your sister is not qualified just because she's black. You can't get mad at you saying that she can't be a president because she's a woman. You can't do it.
Because she's a woman. And I hate them step on their toes, but then again, I'm lying because I love stepping on their toes. Because for one, I tell every man that, as James Brown said, what is this world?
Is without a woman? World, but wouldn't mean nothing without a woman.
Without a woman. Right. And it's not like she's trying to take over, but she's trying to give back what we have been missing for so long. And to know that you care enough that my children, because I don't know how much more time I got on this world. I'm closer to the end than I am the beginning. But for my kids, my grandkids have the opportunity, and as a woman, as a little girl, has the opportunity to say, okay, I'm smart enough. I can run the country. It ain't like I'm finna say, oh, okay, so John, shut the door. I need you to feel it. That ain't what's going on. And why do we have to carry that image? Black women, they shake their head and they do all this. It's not that. We need our black men to stand up with us.
Yes.
And push. Cause she better get ready to get into this salt and pepper club because she about to have a lot of gray hair. But anyway,
hey, listen, I will. I'm glad you said that men need to stand up for women, because here's what's crazy. If Kamala Harris was walking down the street and some dude was trying to assault her, most men would do what they can to save her.
Yeah.
If they saw her just randomly up the street, but you telling me you don't have that same kind of energy for her when it comes to protecting her image? You don't have the same kind of energy for her. Yeah. You don't have the same kind of keeper of her, especially when these things about that they're saying about her are not true. I could honestly see if, first of all, it would take a lot to be worse than this orange dude. It would take a lot.
Yeah.
But the fact that she's educated, accomplished, and like you said at the beginning of the show, she was elected to these positions.
Yes.
Right.
She earned these positions.
Correct.
So the fact that you still have a problem and you can't be her protector, then what would you expect that woman to do for you, bro?
Exactly.
What would you expect?
Exactly.
And let's look at what we're up against. Then let's just say, forget the woman part, forget the black part. Yeah. Let's just talk about the candidates and see what we're up against. We are talking about somebody who, when he was in office, he ran up the deficit to the highest that it's ever been.
With a T, not a B, huh? It's a T.
With a T.
Okay, trillion.
Okay,
yes.
He lost jobs. He was one of the few presidents to lose jobs when he left office.
Right.
COVID, he cost 1 million people their lives.
Yeah.
A lot of people keep forgetting that for some reason. I'm like, he stood in front of the camera and told us it was going to be fine when he knew it was going to be bad. So then on top of that, you say every time he opens his mouth, he lies. Every single time.
Every time.
Then you look at legislation. You say legislatively, what is this? I always joke with a friend of mine. I say, I can see if this dude cured cancer, if he ended world hunger. Even with all his baggage, at least I'd be there. And he cured cancer. Hey, can't beat that.
Can't beat that, yeah.
But he did none of that. So not only was he a terrible person in office, he's a terrible person in general. So that's him. Okay. With Kamala Harris, part of being in the Biden administration, and stop me, please. Sometimes I ramble, but with the Biden administration, you got infrastructure, you got jobs brought back and gained, you got raises in minimum wage, you got the insulin caps at $30, $35, and then you have HBCU funding at $17 billion.
Okay, wait, hold on right there. So how much did he give the HUB? How much did he give?
17 billion.
Okay, so how much did
Trump now here's what's crazy. Okay. What he likes to say is that he says he single-handedly saved HBCUs. Okay. That's what he says. Now, it's all a lie. Yeah. First of all, the funding was a holdover. So by the time it got to his desk, it was already there from Obama's administration.
That's what I was waiting for you to say. Yes.
Yeah, he wanted to cut it. So what he approved was $255 million. But again, he didn't negotiate that. That was, hey, Obama did what? And he tried to cut it, but you can't do that. So he signed it, and then he just lied and said, I saved HBCUs.
Yeah. I say. Exactly. Because everything that this man does, it's all about, I did this, I did that, and here I am, I did this. Now, let me ask you a question, because I know I ain't the only one, and to our viewers, I know I'm not the only one who has kin folks who done been to jail. So, with that being said, how in the Sam Hill bill could, I almost cussed. How can, I'm almost cussing, I'm trying not to, but how could he run? How could we allow him to run for president when he has how many felonies, how many anything, everything that this man has touched has turned to shoot.
Yeah, it's
and he could run, but here is my cousin, here is my brother, here is my son who cannot even go and get an apartment, and this man could try to run the president.
And you
How
know,
do we allow that?
he says because he's white and it's America.
Okay.
And what people, this is a hard thing for people to accept about America in 2024. It's still very racist. And, and that doesn't mean that it can't be better. It just means that it's still a foundational issue. It's still something, because again, you telling me Obama could run for office with one felony? Obama. You think Obama, we remember they were still mad at him for the tan suit.
Yes,
Right.
Right.
So we talking about a dude with 34 felonies. He's a rapist. He's a rapist. Do you understand? And he's a crook. He stole from kids with cancer. Do you understand? This is, but again, when you look at that and look at what they're allowing, because a couple of states, I think Colorado and Michigan, they tried to keep him off the ballot.
Off the ballot, right.
For the Constitution, the 14th Amendment. And on the state level, they was like, it's clear. He can't be on because he let an insurrection.
Right.
But now this is the part that comes back to where people got to understand how important voting is. So he appeals it. They send it to the Supreme Court.
That he fixed up.
Exactly.
So
what did they do? What did they do? They one instance for Colorado, they waited for a long time and then said, nope, keep them on the ballot and send it back. Then when it came to New York with Tanya Chutkan, they waited until a certain amount of time to hope people forgot, and then they sent it right back down to her.
Yeah.
So to me, he knew, all right, I got these people in my pocket. Literally, I got Clarence Thomas in my pocket. I got Roberts in my pocket. I got Kavanaugh in my pocket. I got Amy Coney Barrett in my pocket. Yeah. I know this. So the reason why I'm bringing up the Supreme Court, especially for black men, understand something. He's literally has said he wants to bring back stop and frisk, and he wants to give police full immunity.
That's it.
That means they can whoop your ass.
Period.
Nothing will happen to them.
I take you home to your mama. That's
exactly.
It. I just
it goes to the Supreme Court. Oh, just for clarification for everybody, it's 2 justices that are literally waiting to see if he gets reelected, to see if they can step down. If he gets back in office, Clarence Thomas and Robert both have said they will retire because they know he's going to appoint some more conservative judges. That's how much is important with this election.
But, and then on top of that statement, he went to Clarence. They went to Clarence and told him, you gotta go. We done use you as much as we possibly can. We can't get nothing else from
give you. All the
you gotta go.
PRVs
you gotta go. It's over. It's over. So it's so many. Okay, wait a minute. Let me look at my notes. I had so many. Okay, so let us talk about this other idiot, because we already got Tim Scott. We have what's the idiot in Florida?
Byron Donalds.
We got him. And now here come Martin Luther King on steroids.
Oh my God.
What?
That dude, when I tell you, I've never seen that level of self-hate.
Oh,
I've never seen that in my entire life. That dude makes Tim Scott look like a prince.
Yes. Yeah.
He makes Candace Owens look like Harriet Tubman. I'm telling you. And again, when I say the level of self-hate with somebody, I'm joking when I do the comparisons, but it is a very real thing. When we were all growing up watching TV, on TV we saw mostly white people. That's what we saw. We saw them as the good guy. We saw them in most of the stories. You might get a black friend here and there.
Right.
And so it's programming. That's why it's called television programming. So in your mind, you're thinking, oh my God, we can only be X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. And the only way we can get higher is if this white person approves me. And when you live, now I'm from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago. Then I moved to the West Coast. I was in Seattle for a while, now I live in Los Angeles. But I don't know what it's like to grow up in the South. Mm. But from what I hear, everything I hear is that it's very thick with racism. It's still thick.
Right.
So when you have someone like him that calls himself a black Nazi, I'm like, bro, how bad do you have to not love yourself, your culture,
Right.
your
But
culture,
it just,
bro?
Ty, oh, he just came out of the woodwork. Here's the money that I'm finna pay you to be an idiot. And you say, yes, master. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll be that idiot. And then I
Yep.
sat and looked at his wife's face when they were. It's something that was on TikTok.
I'm not gonna lie, that did surprise me.
Yes, and I said, "Oh my God, this woman looked like, can y'all open the floor
And
and let me go?"
Open and swallow
Yes,
me up.
yes. And it was only because of that money.
Yeah.
When are we gonna stop trying to let people buy us and we buy what we need to make our community strong? It always took a village to raise each and every one of us. Why we can't go back to the village of our own people? Why are we giving all this stuff to these people and saying, oh, okay, well, Master John, you want me to do what? I tell Linda she fat. Before you tell me I'm fat, I already knew this. So you tell me something I don't know.
Here's the thing with I'm sorry, say it again.
People are surrounded their entire self-worth by money.
That's it.
That's it.
That's my self-worth.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worth.
And this is the part that when you I saw in Springfield, Ohio.
Right.
It was the some brothers marching in Springfield, Ohio.
You better know it.
And when I tell you, I literally started crying.
Yes.
I started crying because I was like, you know what? Now here's what's crazy. I saw it on my phone, and at first I thought, oh my God, more Nazis are marching in Springfield. So I was angry, but then I looked close and I said, wait, them brothers.
These are brothers.
Tears, just tears. Like, and my wife was like, "What's going on with you?" Because again, I told you we had an issue with our dog, so she thought I was crying because
for the dog. Yeah,
but I'm like, "Yo, look at this.
Yeah,
look at this. This is what I'm talking about." I said,
"Yeah,
this is what we need to be doing." And that moment of pride, that moment, seeing so many of us, hearing about so many of us, I was like, this is why. This moment in time is one of the most important that we've ever experienced because our ancestors went through something way more serious than this, but this is our first test. This is our first test.
Yes.
Our ancestors had to go through slavery, civil rights, all this stuff. We had, not, I won't say we coasted because racism has always been here, but we had this time of, okay, we're just existing. We're here. Now you got a full-on racist saying, I want all of it.
Yes.
This is our time to say you get none of it.
None of it. None of it.
So when I see cats like the Richardson dude, Mike, whatever the guy's name is, and the Byron Donalds and the Tim Scotts, I'm like, hey man, y'all can go ahead and be with them. We got way more of us that believe in us.
Yeah.
So as I told you, when we talked, I said, you know, I didn't really plan on talking politics when I was started comedy. I was just like, this is just what it is. But this is too important.
Yeah.
This is way too important.
And I think that's where our peers are waking up and saying, listen, young lady, listen, young man. It's not what you're thinking, how we need for you to research, because y'all better off than we are. Mm-hmm. We never could just go to our phones, our tablets, our computer and say, let's Google this, let's Google that. No, we had the encyclopedia and this would have never made it. So, but you have the opportunity to go in here, not listen to Ty, not listen to Linda, not listen to Sharilyn, but Google it for yourself and learn and read it for yourself. And when you do that, you don't have to come back and say, I'm sorry. I need you to go and do the work.
Just go and do the work. Ty, one of the things you said that this is a test. This is a test of the time for our people. And I was talking to some young men the other day.
Wait, hold that right there, because we got to take a quick commercial,
break.
and we'll be right back. I promise you. Stay tuned.
Okay.
Hey, this is your girl, Linda Scott. I am here to introduce you to Linda S. Jury 1426. Now, some of you know me, some of you don't. But if you don't know me, get to know me. Check out and scan the QR code below. Look at the inventory. I made this. God created. I put it together. See you soon. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. We have Ty Barnett, Sharilyn Fisher, Linda Scott. We're here to feed y'all as much as we possibly can about this election. This is not a joke, period. This, for our people, this is our future. I don't want to be a slave. I will not be a good house nigga. I am not. I am not, because that's where we're headed. Okay? I'm not going to be that girl. So I need you all, as we were just saying, Sharilyn, you were saying something before we went on the break.
I was saying, Ty said that this is a test, the test of our times, and it's a test of our people. And if we don't be careful, we're gonna flunk.
Yes.
We have to get it together.
Right.
And I was telling these young men, I said, this is just like a pop quiz. You saying you don't know, you didn't know because you didn't study.
Right.
It's out there for you. Go on your computer, go on Google, and take some notes. And take some notes to compare. There is this website. I can't think of it right now, but I'm going to look it up, where you can go and look up the candidate. And what they would do is they're going to give you the candidate. They're going to tell you everything about him, but they also going to tell you everything about the person that he's running against. Yeah. So go there and learn your candidates. Learn for yourself. Study for yourself, because this is so important. And if you don't go and vote, we're going to flunk.
And you know what, Ty, the reason, the most important reason that you are here is to enhance these young men that we know are viewing. And I talk to young men all the time. And, you know, I birthed two sons, Lord, two. One of my sons, I said, boy, I thought you was a genius until I started talking to you about this election. Ty, when I said I was so mad with that boy, I said, but okay, but here it is. It's two things you don't talk about, religion and politics. So mama not going to talk to you no more, because I want to love you forever. But what mama needs you to do is go Google what Donald Trump has done for you and your mammy and your children. You go do that. And then I want you to Google what you have heard about Kamala Harris. Now, when you finish, I'll be right here waiting.
Have this conversation.
Now, I'm gonna have my arms open wide, because then I know I got a brilliant son. So,
well, you know, and I'm glad you both actually put it to them that way. Say, hey, you don't have to listen to us. Go look for it. Go look. But go look. Don't not look. Go look. And it's so funny. So on our show, Critical and Thinking, earlier today, we literally pulled up both of the websites. We pulled up Trump's website and Kamala's website. If you go to KamalaHarris.com, and you can see where you can donate, you can volunteer, but there's also issues. It's a tab that says issues. And on there, if you click down, there's all of these policies that she wants to enact. Now, here's the important part of that. Next to that is a plus symbol. If you click that plus symbol, it drops down to detailed information about what she wants to offer and how she wants to get things done. In contrast to, if you go to the Orange Dude site, all you see is a bunch of stuff that he wrote, and there is no details of nothing. And I put that out there for people. But just so people so off the top of my head, we're talking about $25,000. Was it $25,000 to first-time home buyers?
Hold on one quick second. Toya, can you hide Sharilyn for a second? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're right. So you got $25,000 to first-time home buyers who couldn't use $25,000 to buy a home.
Right.
especially depending on where you live. Depending on where you live, that $25,000 is a huge down payment for a home. So we got that. We got $6,000 child tax credit. Again, who couldn't use that? Then we got $50,000 to independent business to start a business. You know, we get on top of the billions given to HBCUs, on top of Pell Grants, on top of raising the minimum wage, on top of all of these different things. And everything I named, not only helps American citizens, it helps Black citizens.
Right.
How do we build wealth? One of the easiest ways to build wealth is to own land. To own land. So if you got $25,000 to put towards owning a home, you already ahead of the game. You can pass that down to your children and your children's children. So if you want to start a business, here's 50 grand. Go start your business. So when I see people not understand, and these policies are there. Like you said, compare that to the orange dude. Tell me what he's doing. If you're going to give this dude your vote, or even worse, not vote, well, voting for him is worse. Not vote. You should know this. You should know why. Because there's no way in the world you can say, I'm either going to sit this election out or I'm going to go vote for him if you're not informed. And if you're still going off that little funky ass $1,500 stimulus check, he didn't even want to give you that.
But, okay, so do you have any of that money saved?
Thank you.
Where is the money? And if from then to now, that means you broke, you out there on the streets.
And we talking the average rent, it doesn't say around the country. Let's just say average is $800 to $900. Let's just I'm guessing. And LA is even more. You can't even get a studio apartment for that.
Right.
But you get a $1,500 check, you pay your rent once. Now what?
Exactly.
Now what?
So you don't have any gas. You didn't feed your children, and you got all these other things that you needed to do. Exactly. Now you're having health issues that he wanted you to put some bleach in your skin, and it was going, and go ahead and insert the bleach, and it's going to take care of all of that.
I just want us to understand that if he gets back in this time, it will be our fault, and it will be worse because we see it all now. Like you can see all of what he's done now.
Yes.
And if we look past that, or we sit here and if I hear another rapper come out and say some stuff that they don't know what they talking about, y'all gotta stop. Don't get me wrong. I love hip hop. I love it. But when it comes to political advice, if you don't know facts, I'm not trying to hear what you're talking about. I'm not. And notice he always go to rappers that need something.
Right.
Snoop needed a pardon. Ice Cube want the tax breaks. Sexy Red wanted to sit there and get more stimulus checks. So we gotta. This is our future.
Right.
I can't stress this enough. And I want people to understand that there's a reason. So for 2 seconds, there's a reason that they're pushing him. I want people to understand that. Because notice, Nikki Haley, they didn't push Nikki Haley. They didn't push Tim Scott.
Nope.
By the way, Nikki Haley and Tim Scott couldn't poll higher than 3%. And that's a dude that claims to be a Christian.
Correct.
He couldn't poll higher than 3%. Nikki Haley, she ain't Trump. Why she only poll at 9%? There's a reason they're pushing that guy. And we need to realize there's a reason they're pushing the dude that's supported by every single hate group and is vowing to get rid of people that look like us.
Exactly. But okay, so if you tell me that, like our parents did when we were younger, if you go across that street, a snake gonna bite you. This man say, when you walk out your door, a snake gonna bite you. Why wouldn't we believe what he said? He has done everything that he said. He has already poisoned your brains to say that when Madam President win this election, it was already rigged. He know he's gonna lose, but he's already have all these people in place where he could say, okay, January 6th, it wasn't nothing. It's about to be worse. But I want my young people to know that there's nobody out there better than you. There is nothing. I, I don't know how I'm gonna say this. For our people of color, there's nobody greater than us. If you stop and you research how smart we are, you could do better. But you don't want to research nothing. You just want to go, okay, yeah, Miss Linda said that it's gonna be raining. And yeah, it's gonna rain. Why?
I'm gonna I hope I get through this without it getting. I got emotional when I said it last time, but
Okay.
the thing that they hate the most.
Tori, let Sharilyn in, please. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The thing that they hate the most about us is our resilience. That is the thing that white racists hate more than anything about us. They see everything that they have put us through, everything from the slave ship to now, from police brutality to now, to segregation to now, to redlining to now, to all of these things, to crack to now. And they see that we're still here and we're still contributing on the highest of levels. And we got a chance to put a Black woman in office. When I tell you, that burns them up.
Yes.
They think, well, damn, we've done all of this to them. Why the hell are they still here?
They still standing. They still standing.
Exactly. So this is what I want our young people to look at and say, there's a reason why you're still here. There's a reason why you're still here.
Yeah.
You have to push through all of the. I told you this one time. This is the one shot we got. I compare it to popping a pimple. If you have a really painful pimple on your face and you really got to get rid of it, and every time you touch it, you're like, man, it hurts too much. I don't want to touch it. I'm just leave it there. And it gets worse. It looks ugly. People are like, damn, you got that big ass pimple on your face. Every time you touch it, like, no, I'm leaving it there. Eventually, you say, I got to pop it. And the more pressure you put on it, it hurts. But the second you pop it, it's relief, and then it heals. This country has never popped that pimple, so we've never healed. Right now, what we're seeing is the popping of the pimple. That's why you see all of this hate speech coming out. That's why you see them Haitians being targeted the way that they are. This is why you see more people marching in the streets, because they feel like their way of life. Now, notice what I say, not the American way of life, their way of life is being threatened. So this is our time. This is our one chance. I'm not exaggerating this. This is it. There is no sitting this election out. There is no next time if he gets in. He is literally saying he gonna end all of this.
All of it.
So we got to take it seriously. We have to.
How do we get it to them? And I know we have to repeat it. But we got to figure, because we only have 40 days left.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and we got to get it into the head. I don't want to tell you who to vote for, but I'm definitely gonna tell you who not to vote for. But anyway, I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. But
this is what, sometimes conversations have to be had, and sometimes me and my wife would get into it, because I would say to her, because her friend, she grew up in a really white area of California. I always joke with her and say that the rats drove around in Mercedes. That's how nice the area was. So I always mess with her. But a lot of her people that she grew up with are rich. They got money out there. So to me, some of her friends, they looking at the tax breaks. That's all they care about. They don't care about anything else.
Right.
But I tell my wife, I say, listen, we don't have those same kind of things. And even if we did have that kind of money, I care about other people too much to just let it be this.
Yeah.
So I said all that to say this: the conversations need to be had with the people that can be reached. Now, his base, there's no reaching them. That ain't happening. Let it go. They are where they are. There ain't nothing you can say that's going to change their mind.
Right.
We have a sliver of independence and undecideds, which is weird to me that people are still undecided.
Undecided, yeah.
I'm like,
yeah.
This point is this is like being undecided between a McDonald's patty versus filet mignon. Like how are you still undecided?
Exactly.
But this is what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk to them like we're talking about saving our lives.
Yes.
That's what it
Right.
is.
Yes.
We have to explain to them what police immunity means.
Right.
We have to explain to them what Project 2025 entails,
Exactly.
how it will affect them and how it will affect federal workers, how it will affect women. I have to be very clear about women's rights have already been taken.
Yes, they have.
Yes.
Yes, they have.
They
Yes.
have already and this is before he was in before he,
Right.
this, he did it, he enacted it when he was off, but he's bragged about it. Now think about this. If you have a daughter,
Yep.
if you have a sister, anyone that wants control over their body, think 2025, we're still talking about women having rights to their own body.
Right.
Where we
Right.
go?
Right.
So I would, if it was me and I'm talking to these people, I would bring up real instances. I would bring
Correct.
up these women whose lives have been affected by these abortion bans. I would bring up Social Security, because you think about it, that's Social Security.
Y'all ain't gonna have it. That's what I be telling them.
You're not gonna have it.
I'm gonna enjoy
Exactly.
mine right now because y'all not gonna see what Social Security
That's right.
is tomorrow. And it's
That's
so
right.
true. And I mean just that because who wants to cut you? Everybody they know got plenty of money.
Right.
Yes.
And you're never gonna see your Social Security that you're working so hard for. Oh, but you're not gonna get any, so you won't even know that you're not getting it because you're gonna always be broke.
Right.
Yes.
You're gonna always be hungry. So these are the ways that we start eating chitlins and oxtails and all that because that was the leftovers that our people had, and now we can't stop them from eating it. But it's the stories that we hear
Yes.
of the young lady in Georgia who passed away, and she didn't have to. She didn't have to. So if you would allow the doctors to take care of her, that baby will still be here today.
Exactly. But see, those are the things
that we have to talk about.
And again, it has if it's uncomfortable, then it has to be an uncomfortable. I'd rather have an uncomfortable conversation now,
right?
Than the conversation if he gets back in and we got to figure out how we're gonna
do it. Yeah. And then on the other hand, oh my God, what's the baby name? Marcus, who
Marcel, yeah. Marcel.
Yes. That's Black boys who are going to jail, sons, for something you did not do.
Right. That's right.
And because that tangerine looking number 45 have stacked the judges against. I mean, there were some who said no, but you ain't have enough to fight.
You have a majority
to hold this man's life. And he, to the end said, he still was innocent.
And here's the thing.
Grave.
I would if I'm talking to these people, excuse me, I would bring up specifics.
Exactly.
And show them the direct correlation between these Marcellus's case and the Supreme Court.
Right.
So, yeah.
Those women that have passed the Supreme Court.
Yes.
And the connection with the Supreme Court and the orange dude and who is saying,
right,
if he gets back in, he's gonna put more conservative judges in there.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
At the end of the day, the only reason, literally, no BS, the only reason that dude is running is to stay out of prison. That's it.
That's right.
That was my next. That was my next. Yes, Lord.
That's it. That's the only reason he's running.
But he going. He going.
He's basically going.
He going. He gotta go. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he going. He going. I just can't see these next 40 days that we don't have enough people to realize, understand that he is not for us.
Right.
He is only for himself. He has children that are just like our children, crazy, crackheads, drug users, so on and so on. He's so concerned with Joe Biden, and he's missing the point that, dug it, I got to talk to a Black woman, and if this Black woman beat me, I'm gonna be crazy. He gonna be just as crazy and cuckoo pop. He
was actually called a sociopath And now he was called a sociopath by Robert Kennedy Jr. before he endorsed him, which is weird. How do you endorse a person that you called a sociopath? And I looked up the definition a while back when I was working on something, and I knew what a sociopath was. I knew the word, but I had to look at the literal definition. And it says it's a personality, mental disorder where the person shows no empathy for right and wrong and does not care about the feelings and rights of others. That's how he was described. And if you look at this dude's actions and his history, that fits him perfectly. Do you understand? One of the most dangerous things about this dude is that he accepts zero accountability.
Yes. No responsibility for nothing.
I've never seen that ever. And you got to understand, when somebody doesn't feel like they are wrong for anything, that is the last person you want to be in charge of anything.
Yeah. And even his family members says this dude is whack.
Yes.
He has no concern. This is the only president that I can remember that has had how many wives?
3.
That has how many children from different wives who have taken to raping other women. Because when he said on the bus, all he had to do is grab their stuff and
yeah.
Right then,
I said,
it's crazy. It's not showing up.
Why should she?
I mean, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. She is a foreigner who y'all keep saying the foreigners who's coming over here doing this.
She's a foreigner.
You know what? Yeah. Here's it was really because now he's giving the speeches and he's saying they're coming over here from these African nations, these Hispanic nations, and even China. Yeah. Now, what he doesn't say is these European places. He never talks about the white European immigrants have been coming over here in droves. He never talks about them. No, because again, the easiest thing to do is demonize dark people. Yeah, it's the easiest thing because it's the foundation of this country. Yeah, it's always tell people, I said, America is not great. It has never been great. It has a potential. It got potential. It has never been great. And the reason why is because, again, we keep pretending that it has been.
Right. That's it.
And it's never been. This is it's like a dysfunctional family. And every time y'all get together for the reunion, a fight break out. And everybody's like, why the fight always break out? It's like, because y'all ain't never talked about the problems you got in the family.
That's it. Right. That is it.
So I feel like if we, and this is, did y'all watch the DNC? Did you watch the DNC? The roll call?
Yeah.
I'm watching this roll call and I'm seeing all these different people from all these different places. And I'm like, this is what we missed. This is what we haven't had in a long time. And so this is why I want people to understand that America is the America that can be great. America.
That's it. Exactly. So I am so on to her. We're not going back. I'm definitely not going back. I have been a fighter all my life. I love fighting. So I continue.
Yes, we have to.
Because I have nieces and nephews and grandkids and I have siblings and my baby sister hasn't even started receiving her Social Security and she works hard. I have a reason to fight.
Right.
I don't want to get up until I feel like getting up. So therefore, what I'm going to do, I'm going to fight. We're not going back. We're going to get out there as much as we possibly can to do whatever it is. Right. I just had a young lady. I know it's almost time. Tori, we might have to go over a few minutes. But listen, I had a young lady that had called and said, we had told everybody to go to Can I Vote, whatever it was. I can't remember right now. But anyway, whatever that is, we'll look it up. But she called and said that she was trying to do the mail-in. But they wanted her to do the mail-in and send her registration, her voter's registration card. What? No, hell you don't. Because that is crazy. I can't I never heard that. I've been in training. Don't send those people all that information. So that's why we got to stay on talking about this voting and all these what they want to change in Nebraska. Now
Yeah.
you want to change Nebraska rules. Now you want to change all these things to be just for this idiot.
You know who has saved this country in the last 2 elections? Black women.
Yes, yes.
Black women.
Say that.
Black women have saved this country for the last 2 elections. And I would say with 2016, because Hillary Clinton, she got a lot of votes.
Yes.
And she this is our problem when we look at women for some reason, and it's weird to me because if you listen to her speak, I remember when she ran.
Yes.
And I was at a comedy club and we were watching the debate in the back room, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, man, she know exactly what she's talking about. She's smart. But it said, well, it's something about her that we don't like personally. I don't need you to be my friend.
Right.
I need you to be a leader.
Run my country.
That's it. That's all I need.
When
people say, I want somebody to sit down and have a beer with, I ain't trying to drink with you. I just need to know how to do the job, and you are a person of character. That's what we have gone so far away from the norms of having character and being a respectable, decent human being. There's no way in the world this dude should be out here talking about people are vermin, they're poisoning the blood of the country, and then saying that we want to get rid of all these people that are here legally.
Yes.
You have no plan, and you say you just got concepts of a plan. Stop.
Concept.
So I said all that to say that we got 40-something days.
Yeah.
In these 40-something days,
only 40. We only got 40.
Yeah. So 40 days. We have to treat this like our lives depend on it, because it does.
And our lives do. It
is not. This is not something to play with. This is not something to sit out. I don't care what rapper tells you not to vote.
Exactly.
You need to get out, because again, there's a reason. And this is the question I always try to pose to Republican, like poor middle class Republican voters. I'm like, you do know that just like Democrats put legislation forth when they say, hey, we'll give you $25,000 for this. We want your insulin caps to be affordable. It's legislation. Here, this is why I want your vote. This is what I would do for you. Republicans could easily do the same thing. They could say, well, you know what? We're going to even lower than that. We're going to give you more. But they don't.
They won't.
Instead, they cheat. They lie.
All the time.
Now, the average person should ask themselves this: why won't they just earn my vote instead of trying to steal my
vote? Right. Instead of stealing.
It's one of this is one of the weirdest things. I've never seen it to where a party can be so corrupt, so grimy, so void of compassion, and still have supporters. I've never seen this.
And I said the same thing with Trump. I said some other words, but I was like, what does he have on all of these people?
Oh, it's got to be something
that when he just come in the room. Okay, master. Now what you want us to do? But I'll go over there and do these things. And then for her, it's like, oh, I don't know what she did. So we don't know what the vice president do.
Isn't that crazy?
She don't make no laws. She got a boss over her. Everybody got somebody over somebody.
But you want to hear something?
Following her. That is the
something crazy.
Thing.
Is they'll at the same time as they tell you she don't do anything, they'll tell you she's responsible for everything.
Yeah.
That's it.
She's
the reason why the border crazy, but she don't do nothing. What is it?
How could she?
And then
your 45 said, "What? Don't sign it. Don't let it go. I'm gonna run on that."
That's right. And again, that's known. Like this is you can look this up, and people, if you can't be complaining about the border and not be mad at him for killing the border deal. You can't.
That's it. Right. That is so true. I think, wow, that's a lot. Read that, Sharilyn.
Oscar says, I thank you for acknowledging the woman who will say America, and that's only because our men have taken a seat with the real man. Please stand up and stop debating of Miss Harris being white, black, green, or blue. She's a better candidate than Mr. Trump.
You better say that, Mr.
Say that, Mr. Brian.
You better say it, and that is so true. And on that note, y'all, We gotta go. We don't want to go.
So bad.
We don't want to go. We was asking for more time. If we was know it was gonna be like this, we'd have been like 2 hours on. But yeah, we so appreciate everyone stopping
And
by.
Ty, you have to come
And
back.
Ty, yeah, we have to.
Anytime, anytime.
We have
And
to.
if you can
We
give
have to
me,
do this all the way up until the election.
that's it. I will say this real quick, just 10 seconds. You guys, everyone watching, this is not a game.
Right.
This is not for play. This is not something you can sit out. The stakes in this election are even higher than they were in 16 and 2020. Your rights are at stake. The rights of your friends and family are at stake. The rights of your loved ones are at stake. Your lives are at stake.
Yes.
Your freedoms, the freedom of this country, the future of this country's democracy is literally at stake with this election. If you think this is a game, I promise you it is not. Do your research. Go to KamalaHarris.com. You can see all of her platforms. You can see everything that she's proposing for you.
Okay.
Tell us about your podcast real quick, please.
Oh, every Thursday, 12 noon Pacific, we broadcast live on Facebook. It's called Critical and Thinking, but you can also download it on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, all the podcast purveyors and all that stuff. So it's we just talk politics, and then if you want to find me on TikTok, there's a comedian Ty Barnett. I'm on Instagram as well, and there's content, political content, and all that stuff. So.
All right.
Thank you so much.
So thank you thank you so much, and thanks to our viewers and all your comments. It was really good. We look forward to seeing you all on next week. I want to say Ty be here next week, but we don't know who's gonna be here next week. But we know we'll be talking about politics because we gotta get everybody on. So you're absolutely right. So with that being said, vote. Go to canivote.com.org. and make sure that you are able to vote. You saying, yes, I'm registered, but can you vote? Because
in Texas, Florida,
and Georgia, they're already trying to say, no, you are inactive. So please, please, please check yourself, go vote, and let's win, and we won't go back. So again, we say good night. Thank you for joining us. Go to our YouTube channel, Sharilyn, and let them subscribe to the Golden Square Podcast. Go to our like page. Y'all just go everywhere. The Golden Square Podcast. Do what you do, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Good night.